a moment that I don't think about it.
A Thornton mother says paramedics took away her daughter's chance to live.
We got an accident, looks like a rollover in the center median.
This little girl killed in a tragic crash on a Wyoming highway, declared dead until the coroner called to take her away, discovered her alive.
You don't show up on the scene, not check pulse, and just leave.
It's a heart-wrenching story, one of determination now, as a Thornton mom fights to find out why her daughter was left to die.
She turned to investigative reporter Jennifer Kowaleski to help find answers.
I don't want this to happen to anyone else. She was trying to fill up her squirt gun with the rainwater.
They say a mother's love knows no bounds.
And this is her true love, though.
No distance.
Four-wheeling was her biggest thing ever. Oh, there she goes.
For Dana Edmund Bonds, that love has only continued to grow.
Yep, that was taken in July of 2018.
And is that one of the last photos of you guys together?
That is probably the very last one.
Wyoming Highway Patrol.
There has been an accident.
It was early Saturday morning.
There's a body in the road. Car rolled over, debris everywhere.
September of 2018.
There's a car in the median.
Across the border in Wyoming.
It doesn't look good at all.
This is the day when Dana's world came crashing down.
There's not a moment that I don't think about it.
Her ex-boyfriend drove to Wyoming in the middle of the night with their 10-year-old daughter Peyton. He had been drinking and crashed into a semi parked on the side of the highway.
They hit it on the passenger side and ripped the car open.
He's dead in the middle of I-80 at mile marker 239, while Peyton's lying upside down in this mangled car in the median.
She's still in there by her seatbelt.
With a head trauma, and nobody's doing anything.
EMS is called to the scene.
Rollins ambulance, please respond to mile marker 239 I-80.
Between 76 and 239. For the hospital. Fatal, 1050.
Dashcam video from Wyoming Highway Patrol shows the ambulance arrive at 12:40 a.m. A short time later, records show the ambulance leaves with no patients inside. The trooper shuts down I-80 westbound while they wait for the coroner. Nearly an hour goes by while Peyton is upside down, hanging from her seatbelt. And then the unthinkable happens.
My trooper on scene at the 239 needs the ambulance back there as soon as possible. They're getting a pulse on one of those that we thought were dead.
All righty.
Thanks, bye.
Thanks. Bye.
You can hear the disbelief in the dispatcher's voice. The coroner found a pulse at 1:30 a.m., more than an hour after the crash. Writing in his report, noticed bubbles coming from her mouth and nose. One of the firefighters on scene wrote, rolled her to the body bag and noticed she was breathing.
Rollins ambulance, please respond to mile marker 239 I-80 westbound per highway patrol ASAP.
The ambulance is called back to the scene for a second time.
And where we are en route.
But records show it would take them roughly 30 minutes to get there. Another fireman says CPR was going for half an hour until the ambulance got back on scene, leaving the trooper to call dispatch asking for an ETA.
They're wondering if you could step that up. CPR is in progress.
We're going as fast as we can. We have the ambulance in.
But by the time they get back, it's too late. They declare Peyton dead at 1:57 a.m.
And putting her in a body bag and realizing she's alive?
Like any mother, at this point, she was on a mission to get answers, to find out what happened in the last hour of her little girl's life.
I got a call from the coroner's assistant saying that she wanted to meet with us to tell us the truth.
She recorded their meeting a year later up in Fort Collins.
My motive is you guys, and my motive is Peyton.
You're listening to Carbon County Deputy Coroner Brittany Niemann. She was on scene that night with Coroner Paul Zamora.
I just want you to have the full truth.
The deputy coroner says the EMT failed to do his job.
In my opinion, she should have been cut out of the car That EMT did not follow protocol, did not follow his written protocols.
Listen as she walks us through what happened when the EMT gets back on scene and talks to the coroner.
He looked at Paul and he said, well, that's not a survivable injury.
She says Zamora then said,
I don't care. I can't put somebody with a pulse and who's breathing in a body bag and hope they die before the time I get back to the office.
Powerful words from the deputy coroner. She says the EMT never checked Peyton's pulse.
That was EMS's job, and they failed.
A decision Dana believes took away Peyton's only chance to live.
Paramedic's been fired. He was fired from the hospital.
That hospital is Memorial Hospital in Carbon County. It's where the paramedic worked.
They have 2 flight for lives. You know, take her.
We think Memorial Hospital has some important questions to answer, but the hospital, through its attorney, is refusing to comment and has declined our multiple requests for an interview. The hospital is also denying Dana's request to release any of Peyton's medical records or confirm the paramedic was fired, calling it a personnel matter.
Everyone has their own attorneys, and they lawyered up right away.
Back at the scene nearly 2 years later, there's no sign of the crash. Just these flowers. This is where Peyton would take her last breath. But her mom knows it shouldn't have been this way. Who's to blame?
Everyone that was involved. You can't tell me that not a single person on scene couldn't have done something. Want to see that little dimple smile?
She's since turned her home into a memorial to Peyton.
And it used to be solid pink.
And carries this urn with her often.
Obviously, I hold it all the time, but there's really not much pink left.
Mostly what's left, she says, is sadness and grief. She wants to make sure no other family, no other mother, has to feel the same pain.
I don't want this to happen to anyone else. We miss her.
I'm Contact 7 investigator Jennifer Kovaleski.
That EMT involved in the crash was able to get another job working for a different emergency service also in Wyoming after this incident. He has since died.